Text for today is going to be Proverbs 6, 16 through 19. So we can turn there, and then you'll know what the name of the lesson is going to be. There are 6 things that the Lord hates. 7 that are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. 7 things the Lord can't stand. Now you know when the number 7 is used, especially like this, it is almost always meaning it's complete. It's the whole thing. But you know, you look at this and you go, wait a second. There's a whole bunch more sins and things God doesn't like than just these 7 things. And but if you take a nice close look at this list, I think you'll be able to see that all the sins can come from these. Now, some of these are on there just because they are so distasteful in and of themselves that God wanted to bring extra attention to how bad they were. But some of them are there because they're the root cause of other sins. They're the reason that sins come. And so we want to look at these things and see what God hates so that we can stay away from it. You know, we do that in our lives. My wife can't stand English peas. The only time we have English peas in our house is frozen in case we have to put it as an ice pack on. That is the only reason it is ever in our house. I happen to like English peas, but we're never going to have them in our house because she doesn't like them. And I don't like them enough to make a fuss. So why can't we show that same honor to God that we show to the people in our lives? If God hates them, they need to be on our hate list. The first one is haughty eyes. And I like that better than the King James proud eyes, because we have trouble with that word proud and pride. That just seems to give us some trouble, because certain types of pride is not bad, and certain types is terrible. There's a proud that is the opposite of humble, and that is bad. But there's a proud that is the opposite of ashamed, and that's a good pride. The one that's opposite of being ashamed. There's 2 different types of pride. So the haughty eyes lets us know which is the kind that God hates. And we all know that haughty eye We all know that look. That it's now called the mean girl look. Also, but we know what that is. It is that I know better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than God. I'm better than anybody. We know that attitude, and that is an attitude that God hates. Because that attitude, that kind of pride, can lead to so many kinds of sin, up to and including murder. God wants us to hate that attitude because if you get rid of that attitude, you won't end up with all of those other sins. It's like some of the others on here. This is the attitude that is the root cause. It's like a snowball going down a mountain that becomes a landslide at the bottom. Stop it at the top and you won't have those problems. We have to hate that attitude. The second is lying tongue. We know in Revelation 21:8 that all liars have their place in that lake of fire. Were you ever honest enough to admit that you used to lie? Because everybody lies at one time or another. And now just tell me that you never did something similar. Did you take those cookies? No, Mom. I didn't take those cookies. Did you do your homework? Yes, I did my homework. They seem so innocent. But the lying tongue comes from an attitude that does not respect the truth. That little lie may not seem so bad. It's just a little white lie. But it's the attitude that allows you to lie that is like that snowball going down the hill. It gathers mass and momentum as it goes and gets worse and worse. You've got to stop the lying at the top of the hill. You've got to understand that a lie is the opposite of the truth. So I want you to turn to John 17:17. The Gospel of John. Chapter 17. And then down to verse 17. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth. Lying is the exact opposite of God's word. Go one more chapter over. I know now go back to chapter 8. That's where I want to be. John 8. And we will go to verse 32. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. If a lie is the opposite of the truth, then the results are opposite. If the truth will set you free, a lie will imprison It's been said that if you tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. If you tell a lie, you got to remember what that lie was. You got to keep remembering that. When you tell the truth, you never have to worry about that because it stays the same all the time. Hands that shed innocent blood. We've now come to one of those that is on the list, not just because of its an attitude, but because it is a sin that is so heinous in and of itself that it doesn't have to go any further. It doesn't have to roll down the hill. Hands that shed innocent blood. I can't think of anything more apropos than that, than the sin of abortion, because there's no blood that is more innocent than that. But I will like to bring out one thing. One of the verses that is much better in the ESV than the King James is the Exodus 20:13, which says, "Thou shalt not commit murder," which is different than kill. Murder is the shedding of innocent blood. Next, a heart that devises wicked plans. Have you ever done something that you shouldn't do? You didn't plan it. You didn't think about it, but the opportunity came up and you did it. Maybe an example is, have you ever been unkind and hateful to somebody that came up and they pushed that button, and before your brain could say, "I don't think you should say that," your brain went, and bang. That's a sin. But this explains the problem. A heart that devises wicked plans. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake. But this talks about the attitude of wanting to do bad things. God hates that attitude. God hates that attitude of people who want to do wrong. Do we know people who purposely choose, that's their heart's desire, is to do wrong? God hates that. And we need to hate that. Now, does that sometimes happen? If you have ever been done wrong to by somebody, there's a chance that your heart might want to do them evil. Your heart might want to get them back, to make them pay. See, sometimes even we who are good people can slip into having a heart that devises wicked plans. We have to hate that. We have to think of doing good to other people doing the right things. We have to have the opposite, a heart that seeks out good. Feet that make haste to run to evil. It's very similar, isn't it? It's talking about an attitude. I'm sure that all of us that haven't reached the teenage years yet have been there. And I'm sure that when we were there, we knew there were two types of people. One that when the opportunity and idea to do something stupid came up, they were the first one in line and saying, come on, follow me. And the other was the one that says, no, maybe we should not do that. Now, I'm not saying that as a teenager, it didn't matter which attitude I had, I might have ended up in the same place. But God hated that attitude that's ready to run to evil, that's ready to go do wrong, that's ready to do that. So when you go back to the heart that wants to do the wicked plans, you got to make sure that your feet aren't ready to carry them out. If you practice holding your tongue, it's a whole lot easier to hold it. If you practice saying, I'm mad, maybe I better shut my mouth, it's a whole lot easier to keep your mouth shut. Or at least it is for me. A false witness who breathes out lies. Lying is bad in and of itself. But one step further is when you lie to hurt people. That's the idea of false witness. False witness is not just lying. It's lying about people and things that will cause damage. In the Old Testament, which this is a verse from, it was talking about legal proceedings. Lying is bad enough, but when you lie about somebody, when you bear false witness, you not only hurt your own soul, but you hurt them. We need to be very careful when we speak. Way too many times, Christians repeat things that they've heard, that they haven't checked out about other people. That's bearing false witness if it's not true. I mean, it's easy to do. You can believe things, but be careful when you speak that you speak the truth, that you know what you're talking about. I mean, if you want to see how often people don't check before they say anything, go open up your Facebook and see how many things that aren't true you can find in one day on there that somebody has forwarded because they didn't bother to check whether or not it was true. You may forward a thing about a missing child, and I may not forward it if it doesn't come from the police department or the person, and the date is not within 1 day of when you do it, I will not forward it. I am tired of seeing missing children that are almost as old as I am on Facebook. And whatever you do, God expects you to tell the truth. That means you have to check your sources. And one who sows discord among brothers, God hates that. God doesn't want you to report something that isn't true. He also doesn't want you to use the truth to cause problems. Does that happen? Can you use the truth improperly to cause discord amongst your brothers and your sisters? Just because it's true, you don't have to say it. Our job as Christians should be to mend fences, to help people come together, not to divide them, not to cause problems. Most of these that God hates are attitude. And every one of them goes back to the two great commandments. The greatest and the one like it. Love God and love your neighbor. If you truly love God and you truly love your neighbor, you're not going to have a problem with any one of these things that God hates. If you need to answer the invitation because you have let yourself go down the wrong path of some of these abominations, and it's caused reproach on you and on the church, and everybody knows, come forward, make it right. If it's between you and God, sit what you are and make it right. And if it's not, say, thank God and help me to keep doing what I'm doing. Everybody always should have a response to the invitation. It can be public, it can be private, or it can be help me get better. But there should always be a response. If you need to do it in a public way, come now as we stand and as we sit.